I arrived at the wedding, but my daughter said, "Dad, you're not invited, please leave." Before we begin, tell me in the comments, what would you do if your own child humiliated you in public? And if you enjoy emotional family stories with shocking twists, subscribe now, because today's story will stay with you. I never thought the worst humiliation of my life would happen at my own daughter's wedding. But there I was, standing outside the bridal suite, wearing a suit she helped me choose. After paying nearly $80,000 for the wedding she always dreamed of, and then she looked me straight in the eyes and said 5 words I'll never forget: "You need to leave." Right now, no smile, no hesitation, no emotion, just cold. My name is Daniel Brooks. I'm 58 years old, and until that morning, I believed my daughter Emily trusted me more than anyone else in the world. Apparently, I was wrong. The wedding venue was breathtaking, an old estate outside Millbrook, covered in white roses and fairy lights. Emily always wanted something magical. As a little girl, she used to draw wedding dresses in her school notebooks. She'd sit on the kitchen floor while her mother cooked and say, "Dad, when I get married, you'll walk me down the aisle, right?" Every time I gave the same answer, only if the guy deserved you. When she introduced me to Ryan Carter, I was cautious. He was 31, financial consultant, smart, calm, respectful. He shook my hand firmly and looked me in the eye. I liked him. I trusted him, maybe too much. That morning, I arrived early. My charcoal suit fit perfectly, the same one Emily insisted I buy. I still remembered her fixing my tie in the store mirror. "Dad," she laughed, "you're going to outshine the groom." I had held on to that memory. Maybe that's why what happened next hurt so much. I walked toward the bridal suite. I could hear music. Inside, laughter, bridesmaids talking, the usual wedding. Chaos. I knocked twice. Silence. The door opened. Emily stood there in her wedding dress. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. She looked exactly like her mother, beautiful, elegant, perfect. Then her face changed. It was subtle, like a light being switched off behind her eyes. "Hey, sweetheart," I said with a smile. You shouldn't be here." I blinked. "What?" Her jaw tightened. "You need to leave." I gave a confused laugh. "Emily, what are you talking about?" She stepped forward, blocking the doorway. Behind her, 8 bridesmaids had gone silent. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then she delivered the sentence that shattered me. "You were never supposed to come." I stared at her, my own daughter, the girl I raised alone after her mother died. The girl whose fevers I stayed awake through, whose school plays I never missed, whose college tuition I paid by working overtime for years. And now she looked at me like I was a stranger. "Why?" I asked quietly. Her eyes hardened. "Because I know what you did." My stomach dropped. Every muscle in my body froze. No, impossible. Not that. Not after all these years. She knows. But how? How could she possibly know? I kept my voice steady. "Emily, we need to talk." "No, please, no." "Dad." The word "dad" sounded wrong. Cold, sharp, like she hated saying it. Then she leaned closer. "I spent 8 months finding the truth. 8 months. For 8 months. She had smiled, called me, sent me decoration. Photos. Asked me about flowers. Let me pay for everything, all while investigating. I realized something terrifying. This wasn't anger. This was planned. This was a test. She wanted to see what I would do, whether I'd fight, beg, break. Looked at her one last time. Then I said only 2 words. "Understood." I turned around, walked away. No scene, no yelling, no pleading, nothing. I got into my truck, closed the door, sat in silence. My hands rested on the steering wheel. Then I opened my banking app and canceled every payment tied to the wedding. Venue, caterer, florist, photographer.dj, all of it, $80,000 gone in minutes. Not out of revenge, not anger, because if the truth was finally coming out, then nothing moved forward until everything was said. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Then I read the message and my blood ran cold. She found out about Blackwood. Another message came. Instantly, we need to talk now. I stared at the screen. Only 3 living people knew about Blackwood, and one of them was dead. I started the engine because, for the first time in 24 years, the past had come back, and it wasn't done with me. I thought my daughter had uncovered my darkest secret. I was wrong. She had only found half of it, and the other half was waiting for me at a roadside diner. The drive to the diner felt longer than it actually was. My hands were steady on the wheel. My breathing wasn't. When a secret survives for 24 years, you start believing it's buried forever. That's the lie time tells you. It makes you comfortable, careless. And then one day, a single text message tears open a grave you spent decades sealing shut. The diner sat on Route 11, just outside Millbrook. Old neon sign, cracked parking lot. Half the letters in the word diner barely worked. I parked, checked the message again. She found out about Blackwood. We need to talk, now. I stepped inside. The smell hit me first. Coffee, bacon grease, gold wood, the kind of place where everyone either minds their business or knows yours. I scanned the room. Then I saw her. Booth near the back, grey coat, short silver hair, hands wrapped around a coffee mug. She was already watching me, even after 24 years. I recognized her instantly. Sophia Lane. My chest tightened. No way. I walked over slowly. She didn't smile, didn't stand, didn't greet me. I sat across from her. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, I broke the silence. You look older. Her expression didn't change. So do you. Still sharp, still direct, still Sophia. I leaned back. How did Emily find you? She hired someone. My jaw tightened. An investigator? Sophia nodded. A very good one. How long? 8 months, 8 months again. That number. 8 months of lies. 8 months of pretending. Emily had built a case against me while asking me about wedding cakes. I felt something heavy settle in my chest. What did you tell her? Sophia studied me carefully. Not everything. What does that mean? It means I wanted to speak to you first. I let out a bitter laugh. How generous. That got a reaction. Her eyes hardened. Don't do that. Do what? Turn sarcastic when you're scared. I froze. Because she was right. She always knew when I was afraid. Even before I admitted it to myself. She leaned forward. She knows you were in Blackwood in 2002. I stayed silent. She knows you were with me. Still silent. She knows something happened. I finally spoke. What else? Sophia hesitated, then said the words that stopped my heart. She knows about the baby. The world went. Silent forks, voices, coffee machines. Everything disappeared. Only those words remained. She knows about the baby. No, I said. My voice came out rough. She can't. She does. I shook my head. No. No, she can't know because there was... No, Sophia cut me off. She knows what the investigator found. I stared at her. My chest tightened. Because there was only one reason the investigator would mention a baby. Only one, I whispered. He found the hospital records. Sophia didn't answer. She didn't need to. That silence was answer enough. I closed my eyes, and Blackwood came rushing back. Summer. I was 34. Arrogant, successful, emotionally reckless. I met Sophia during a consulting contract in a small town I was supposed to leave in 2 weeks. Instead, I stayed 4 months. Because of her, because with her. Life felt simpler, real. When she told me she was pregnant, everything shattered. I panicked, not outwardly. I didn't scream, didn't yell. I did something worse. Withdrew emotionally completely. I started talking like a businessman handling risk numbers, timing, options, solutions, not love, not support, not responsibility. She saw it instantly. You're leaving, she told me. I lied. No, but we both knew. A week later, I was gone. I told myself I'd come back. I never did. I looked at Sophia. What exactly did Emily hear? Sophia's voice softened. She thinks you abandoned your child. The words hit like a punch. No. She believes you left us. Both? No. She thinks you ran because being a father scared you to stop. She thinks I said stop. The diner went quiet. A few people looked over. I lowered my voice. My breathing had turned uneven. Because this was wrong. Horribly wrong. Emily didn't know she had half the truth, and half-truths can destroy people faster than lies. I looked at Sophia. Did you tell her what happened? Sophia's expression changed. Pain, old pain, the kind time dulls but never erases. No. Why not? Because it wasn't my story to tell. I clenched my jaw. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. Buzzed again. Ignored. It then again. I looked. First missed. Calls. Wedding planner. Unknown numbers. Ryan and Emily, she called. After throwing me out, she called. That meant one thing. The test wasn't over, Sophia noticed. She's waiting. For what? She looked straight at me. To see what kind of man you are. I laughed bitterly. I think she already decided. No. Sophia shook her head. She's terrified. Daniel, I frowned. Terrified? She doesn't want to hate you. That hit harder than I expected. Sophia continued, she's hoping you prove her. Wrong. I stared at the table. My reflection in the coffee looked older than 58, tired. Regret changes a man, even. When nobody sees it, Sophia spoke. Again, she thinks Blackwood defines you. Does it? She held my gaze. That depends. On what? On what you do next. Silence. Then she delivered the sentence that changed everything. The investigator found something else. I looked up. Cold spread through my body. What? Sophia swallowed. He found records that shouldn't exist. What records? Her voice dropped. Someone has been watching Emily. Every muscle in my body locked. What? For months? No, that wasn't possible. Who? We don't know, Sophia shook her head. But whoever it is, they knew about Blackwood. The air vanished from my lungs. This wasn't just about the past anymore. This was something else, something present, dangerous. Slowly stood up, chair scraping against the floor. My pulse thundered. Where is she? At the estate. I grabbed my keys. Sophia stood too. Daniel, I looked at her for the first time in 24 years. I wasn't thinking about guilt or shame or secrets. Only one thing mattered, my daughter. If someone had been watching. Emily? Nothing else mattered, not Blackwood, not the wedding, not the past, nothing. I turned toward the exit. Sophia called after me. There's one more thing. I stopped, turned. Her face had gone pale. What? She said 6 words, 6 words that made my blood freeze. The watcher knows she isn't yours. I thought the worst secret was Blackwood. I was wrong. The real secret was about my daughter. For a second, I forgot how to breathe. I turned so fast my chair nearly tipped over. What did you say? Sophia looked like she regretted saying it, but it was too late. Words like that don't go back. She repeated herself slowly, clearly. The person watching Emily knows she isn't biologically your daughter. The diner disappeared. The world narrowed to a single ringing sound in my ears. No, impossible. No one knew that, no. Weren't they? I stepped closer to the table. My voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Who told you that? Nobody told me, Sophia said. Then how do you know? Because the investigator asked me. My stomach twisted. What exactly did he ask? Sophia swallowed. He asked if I knew whether Diane ever told you the truth. The truth. I hated that phrase because truth isn't always clean. Sometimes it's ugly, messy, cruel. And sometimes loving someone means carrying a truth that would destroy them. I sat back down slowly. Not because I wanted to, because my legs suddenly felt weak. I rubbed my face. This can't be happening. Sophia's voice softened. Daniel, does Emily know? No. Does Ryan know? No. Anyone? I stared at the coffee. No. 26 years. 26 years. I protected that secret, not to save myself, to save Emily, because biology never mattered to me, not once, not for a single second. I still remember the night Diane told me it was raining 3 months before Emily was born. Diane sat at the kitchen table shaking, crying, so hard she could barely speak. I thought someone had died. Instead, she whispered, "There's something I need to tell you." I held her hands. What is it? She couldn't look at me. Emily, Might not be yours. Might that word, small word, massive impact. I went completely still. Diane kept talking through tears. Before we got serious, before we became exclusive, there had been someone else. Brief, meaningless, a mistake. Then she found out she was pregnant. Dates overlapped. She didn't know. She was terrified, ashamed, broken. I remember sitting there in silence. She finally said the words she feared most. If you want to leave. I understand. Leave, funny, that word again. Everyone expected leaving to be easy for men, like walking away was built into us. I asked only one question. Do you love me? She looked up. Yes. Do you want this family? Yes. Then we're done talking. She stared. What? I squeezed her hands. I don't care whose blood she carries. Tears streamed down her face. I continued. When that baby is born, she's mine. Diane broke down sobbing, and I held her because some decisions don't require DNA, they require character. Emily was born. I held her for the first time, tiny, pink, angry at the world, and in that instant, every question disappeared. Mine, she was mine. End of discussion, even after Diane died. I never told Emily, never, because why would I? I changed diapers, packed, lunches, paid for braces, stayed up through nightmares, taught her to ride a bike, held her when boys broke her heart, loved her every single day. What could biology possibly add to that? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Sophia interrupted my thoughts. Daniel, I looked up. If someone knows, they can hurt her. I clenched my jaw. I know. My phone rang. Emily again. This time I answered instantly. Emily? Silence, then shaky breathing. Dad. She was crying. My entire body tightened. What happened? Her voice shook. There's someone here. Ice shot through my veins. Where? At the estate. My heart slammed. Who? I don't know. What happened? She was breathing hard now. Someone left something in my dressing room. No. Emily, listen carefully. Are you alone? Ryan is here. Good. Don't leave him. Her voice broke. Dad. I'm scared. That did it. Every remaining hesitation vanished. I'm coming. Hurry. Call ended. I was already moving. Sophia grabbed her coat. I'm coming too. We ran to the parking lot. Rain had started, heavy, cold, violent. By the time I reached my truck, my hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage, pure rage. Someone had targeted my daughter. My daughter. I drove like a madman. Rain hammered the windshield. Sophia held onto the dashboard. Slow down. No. Daniel, no. I gripped the wheel harder. Whoever this was, they'd made one fatal mistake. They thought secrets made me weak. They were wrong. Secrets create monsters, and I was done being ashamed of mine. 10 minutes later, we reached the estate. Chaos.police. Lights, guests outside, people whispering. My blood ran cold. Jumped out before the truck fully stopped. Wedding. Staff everywhere. A bridesmaid crying. Ryan spotted me. He ran toward me. His face was pale. Mr. Brooks, what happened? He swallowed. They found this. He handed me a white envelope. My name was written on it. Daniel Brooksy opened it. Inside was a single photograph. Old, faded Blackwood. Hospital date stamped. I stopped breathing, because in that photo, I saw Diane, pregnant, terrified, and standing beside her. A man. Not me, Ryan whispered. There's a note on the back. My hand trembled as I flipped it. Over 7 handwritten words. Ask her who her real father is. The world tilted. This wasn't random. This wasn't blackmail. This was personal. Someone wanted destruction. Family. Destruction. I slowly lifted my head, and that's when I saw her, Emily, standing in the entrance, wedding dress, mascara. Ruined, shaking, broken. She looked at me with tears streaming down her face. Then she asked the question I feared for 26 years, the question I prayed. She'd never ask. Dad, her voice shattered. Is it true? I had 2 choices, lie to protect her, or tell the truth and risk losing my daughter forever. I looked at my daughter, at the tears running down her face, at the pain in her eyes, and I understood something. Brutal, there are moments in life when no answer saves. This was one of them. Emily held the photograph with trembling hands. Dad, she whispered again, tell me the truth. Around us, everything felt distant. Police, guests, rain, silence. Nothing mattered except this moment. Ryan stood beside her, silent. Sophia remained a few steps. Behind me, nobody moved, nobody interrupted. This had become a family reckoning. Took a slow breath. Then I said the hardest word of my life. Yes. Emily flinched like I'd slapped her. Tears spilled faster. No. Yes, I said quietly. It's true. Her breathing became uneven. So, you knew? Yes. All these years? Yes. She shook her head in disbelief. No, that doesn't make sense. Her voice rose. You knew I wasn't biologically yours, and you said nothing? I let her yell. She deserved that. She deserved more. I was going to tell you someday. Her laugh came out broken. Someday? Pain flashed across her face. When, Dad? When I turned 30? 40 after you died? I had no answer, because every year I postponed it. Not because I wanted to lie, because I kept waiting for a perfect moment. Perfect. Moments never come. They rot into mist. Chances. Emily cried openly now. Who is he? Silence. I looked at the photograph. Again, the man beside Diane. The ghost from our past, a man I hated, a man I thought was gone forever. I forced the words out. His name is Victor Hale. Sophia's eyes widened. She knew the name. Ryan frowned. Emily stared. Who was he? I clenched my jaw. He was someone your mother knew before me. Someone she loved? No, the word came sharp. Then what? I closed my eyes for 1 second, because this truth was uglier, much uglier. When I opened them, I said it. Your mother didn't choose Victor. Silence. Complete silence. Emily stopped breathing. Ryan stiffened. Sophia covered her mouth. Then Emily whispered, What does that mean? My throat tightened. It means Victor forced himself on her. Ryan's face changed instantly. Rage. Pure rage. Emily went pale. No! Her voice cracked. No. She told me everything, I said. 3 months before you were born. Tears blurred Emily's vision. She was terrified. I continued. She blamed herself. Thought I'd leave. Thought nobody would believe her. Emily shook violently. No. I stepped closer. She wanted to disappear. Stop. She wanted to raise you alone because she thought you'd remind me of him. Stop. She collapsed into sobs. Ryan caught her, held her tightly. I kept talking because truth delayed becomes cruelty. I told her something that night. Emily looked up through tears. I said softly, I told her blood doesn't decide fatherhood. She froze. I stepped closer. When you were born. None of that mattered anymore. My voice broke. For the first time, you were my daughter. Tears filled my eyes. I didn't hide them. Not anymore. I chose you on day one. Emily stared at me, shaking, crying, broken. I continued, not because I had to. Another step, because I wanted to. Another step, because I loved you before. I even held you. I was right in front of her. Now, I never lied about loving you. Emily, my voice cracked. Not once. She covered her mouth, sobbing. Harder. I changed your diapers. I was crying now. 2, I taught you to walk. My chest hurt. I sat through every school performance. I swallowed hard. When you got your first heartbreak, who sat in that car with you for 3 hours? She broke completely. I whispered, who held you when your mother died? She collapsed into my arms, hard, violently, like 26 years of love had crashed into one moment. Dad! She sobbed against my chest. Dad. I held her tight. The way I held her when she was little. The way fathers hold children when words fail. She cried for what felt like forever. Then suddenly, Ryan spoke. Cold sharp. Someone sent this. We separated. He held up the photograph. This isn't just family history. He was right. Wiped my face. My mind sharpened. Yes, this was too deliberate, too calculated. Someone had sent this now, at the wedding, on purpose, to destroy us, which meant I looked at the envelope again, then something clicked, a tiny detail, almost invisible. My blood froze. No. Where I grabbed the envelope, Ryan frowned. What? I turned it over. stamped in the corner, a symbol, black ink, small triangle with a slash through it. Sophia gasped. She recognized it too. "No!" I whispered. "Impossible." Emily looked confused. "What is it?" Sophia's voice shook. "Daniel?" I stared at the symbol, a symbol I hadn't seen in 24 years, a symbol connected to one man, one monster, one nightmare, Victor, which meant only one thing. I slowly lifted my head and scanned the crowd. Outside, guests, police, staff, strangers, rain. Then I saw him across the parking lot, standing near the trees, watching. Us tall, still unmoving, even from that distance. I knew older, grayer, but unmistakable. My blood turned to ice. Emily noticed my expression. "Dad." I could barely speak because the dead had just returned, and this time, "He came for my daughter," I whispered 2 words. "He's here." I thought Victor wanted revenge on me. I was wrong. He wanted something far worse. He wanted Emily. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Rain kept falling. The guests kept whispering. Police lights flashed red and blue across the wet pavement. But for me, everything slowed, because across that parking lot stood a man I had prayed never to see again. Victor Hale, older now, grey hair, wrinkles. But the eyes hadn't changed. Cold, predatory, the kind of eyes that enjoyed fear. Emily looked between me and the stranger. Her voice shook. "Dad, who is that?" My jaw tightened. "That's Victor." Ryan immediately stepped in front of Emily. Protective. Good. Very good. Victor started walking toward us. Slow, calm, like he had all the time in the world, like he owned the moment. Police noticed movement, but he stopped before they could approach. Smart. Always smart. Sophia whispered behind me. "This can't be real." But it was. Every ugly memory came rushing back. 26 years ago, Victor was powerful in Blackwood, rich family, connections, lawyers, influence, the kind of man who got away with everything because nobody dared challenge him. Especially not women, especially not Diane. I had wanted to destroy him back then. I almost did, but Diane begged me not to. She said, "Please, just let us disappear." She wanted peace, safety, distance, so I buried my rage. I built a life, raised Emily, and convinced myself monsters stayed buried. I was wrong. Victor raised both hands slightly, not threatening, mockingly peaceful. Daniel. Even hearing my name from his mouth made me sick. I stepped forward. "Don't come closer." He smiled. "Still disgusting, still arrogant. I'm not here to fight," Ryan snapped. "Then why are you here?" Victor ignored him, his eyes locked on Emily, and something in my chest exploded. No way. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at her, like she mattered, like she belonged to him. I moved directly into his line of sight. "You look terrible, Victor," he chuckled. "You look old." I didn't blink. "What do you want?" His answer came instantly. Her. Silence. Emily froze. Ryan's fists clenched. Sophia gasped. My voice became ice. "You don't get to say that." Victor tilted his head. "She's my blood." I stepped closer. "Say that again." He smiled. "She's my daughter." Wrong. Everything about that word coming from him was wrong. I spoke slowly, carefully. "No." Victor raised an eyebrow. "No. You may share DNA." I felt rage boiling through every word. "But you are not her father." Victor laughed. Cold, cruel, amused. "Biology says otherwise." I didn't hesitate. Biology didn't stay awake during fevers. Silence. Biology didn't teach her how to ride a bike. Victor's smile faded slightly. Biology didn't pay for school. Another step. Biology didn't hold her while she cried after heartbreak. My voice rose. Biology didn't walk her through grief when her mother died. Now everyone was watching. Guests, police, staff. Nobody moved. I pointed at him. "You are a sperm donor." My voice thundered. Nothing more. Victor's expression hardened. Finally, the mask cracked. "There's something you should know, Daniel." I narrowed my eyes. "What?" He smiled again. But this time, There was something sinister in it. I didn't come for revenge. Cold crawled through me. Then why are you here? He looked past me, at Emily, and answered. I came because she has something of mine. No, no, no. Emily stepped back. Ryan pulled her closer. I spoke through clenched teeth. She owes you nothing. Victor chuckled. You still don't understand. His calm terrified me more than anger. Because calm meant planning. He reached into his coat. Police reacted instantly. Hands near weapons. Easy, Victor said. He slowly pulled out a folder. Not a weapon. Documents. He tossed it onto the wet ground, right in front of me. Read it. I didn't move. Ryan did. He grabbed the folder first, opened it. His face changed. Confusion, then shock. What the hell? Emily looked terrified. What is it? Ryan stared at the papers, then at me, then at Victor. This can't be right. My pulse hammered. I snatched the papers, read, and the ground vanished beneath me. Legal documents, company records, trust papers, bank transfers. One number jumped off the page. $147,147 million. My hands shook. No, impossible. Victor smiled. There it is. I looked up. What is this? He spoke calmly. My estate. I stared. He continued. I'm dying, Daniel. Silence. Complete silence. Rain fell harder. Even police stopped moving. Victor's voice remained terrifyingly calm. Stage 4. Pancreatic cancer. Nobody spoke. Emily looked horrified. Ryan frowned. Sophia stared. I said nothing because I didn't care, not even a little. Victor continued. I have no wife, no other children, no heirs. I understood before he finished, and rage exploded. No, Victor looked at Emily. When I die, he smiled faintly, everything becomes hers. Emily went pale. No, Victor interrupted. She's legally next in line. Ryan stepped forward. She wants nothing from you. Victor ignored him. His eyes stayed on Emily. I made mistakes. Mistakes. My vision blurred with fury. You don't call what he did a mistake. You call it evil. Victor spoke softly. I came to give her what belongs to her. Emily finally found her voice. Shaking, broken, angry. I don't want anything from you. Victor blinked, probably not used to hearing. No, Emily repeated louder. I don't want your money. Victor frowned. You don't understand. No. Her voice sharpened. You don't understand. She stepped forward, still shaking, but strong. So much like Diane, so much like me. You think money gives you rights? Victor stayed silent. Emily's voice cracked, but she didn't stop. You think showing up with documents makes you family? Tears mixed with rain. You are nothing to me. Victor's jaw tightened. Emily pointed at me. That man is my father. Silence. She took another step. He changed my diapers. My chest tightened. He taught me to swim. Tears ran down her face. He stayed. Victor's face darkened. Emily's final words hit like thunder. You contributed DNA. She pointed at my chest. He gave me a life. Victor's mask finally shattered. For the first time, he looked hurt, actually hurt, and that's when I realized something. He didn't come only for control. He came hoping money could buy forgiveness. He was desperate, and desperate men become dangerous. Victor's eyes changed. Cold again, deadly. He said one sentence, and every alarm in my body screamed. Then there's one more truth she should hear. I thought the worst was over. Then Victor revealed one final secret about Diane. The rain kept falling. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Victor stood there, soaked but steady, his expression unreadable. Emily's breathing was uneven. Ryan stood beside her like a wall. I stepped forward. Say what you came to say. Victor looked at me. Then at Emily. His voice was calm, too calm. Your mother lied to both of you. Emily froze. No, Victor continued. She came to me. I felt my fists clench. Stop talking. She came to me after learning she was pregnant. Victor, she told me about the baby. Emily shook her head. No, Victor ignored me. She begged me not to claim you. The air felt heavy, suffocating. I wanted to shut him up. But Emily needed truth, not more silence. Victor spoke again. She said Daniel would be a better father than I ever could. Silence. My anger stalled. What? Victor continued. She said something I never forgot. His eyes remained on Emily. She said, "If my daughter grows up with you, she'll grow up afraid. If she grows up with Daniel, she'll grow up loved." Emily's face crumpled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Victor laughed bitterly. She chose him. He looked at me. She chose you. No triumph in his voice. Only regret, raw, ugly, human. I stared, trying to reconcile the monster I knew with the broken man standing before me. Victor swallowed hard. I hated you for years. I said nothing. He continued. At first I told myself she stole something from me. He looked down. But over time, I understood. His voice dropped. She didn't steal anything. He looked at me again. I lost because I deserved to lose. Complete silence. Even the rain seemed quieter. Emily whispered, "Why now?" Victor's answer came immediately. "Because I'm dying." She shook her head. "That's not enough." Victor closed his eyes. No. When he opened them, they looked older, tired. I spent decades pretending power fixed everything. He glanced at the documents. Money, he almost smiled. Property, control. Then his expression broke. But dying does something strange. His voice cracked. It strips away every lie. Emily stared. Victor continued. I realized something horrifying. He swallowed. I could die tomorrow. And the only thing anyone would remember about me, he looked at her, is the worst thing I ever did. Nobody spoke. Because there was nothing to say. Sometimes truth doesn't need commentary. It just sits there, heavy, ugly, real. Victor took a slow breath. I came here knowing you'd hate me. Emily's voice shook. I do, he nodded. I know, no defense, no excuse, just acceptance. Then he said something none of us expected. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Silence. I don't deserve it. He looked at me, then at Emily. I came to return what I stole. Emily frowned. What did you steal? Victor's eyes filled with something shocking, tears, peace. His voice broke. I stole your mother's peace. He looked destroyed now. I stole years of her life. Another breath. I stole safety. Tears ran down his face. And I nearly stole your future. Even Ryan's expression softened slightly. Not forgiveness, just recognition of pain. Victor slowly reached into his coat again. Police tensed. He pulled out something small. A sealed envelope, old, yellowed. He held it carefully. This is for you. Emily didn't move. What is it? Victor answered softly. A letter from your mother. Everything stopped. My heart slammed. Impossible. She wrote it the day after she spoke to me. Emily's hands trembled. Victor continued. She told me if anything ever happened to her. His voice cracked. I was to give this to you when you were old enough. Emily whispered, why didn't you? Victor closed his eyes. Because I was a coward. Honest. Brutally honest. He stepped forward slowly. Police watched. I watched. Ryan watched. Victor extended the letter. Emily hesitated, then took it. Her hand shook as she opened it. Rain soaked the paper edges. She read silently, then sobbed, completely, violently. I caught her before she fell. She clutched the letter while crying into my chest. Dad. She could barely speak. She wrote about you. I held her tighter. What did she say? Emily cried harder, then forced the words out. She wrote. Her voice shattered. She wrote. Emily looked up at me through tears. She wrote, if you ever doubt who your father is, look at the man who stayed. I broke, completely, years of control. Years of silence, gone, I cried. Right there, in front of everyone, because Diane, even after death, had protected us, had protected me. Emily grabbed my suit. You stayed, she sobbed. You stayed. I kissed her forehead. I always will. Victor turned away, defeated, finished, like he understood his role was over. He had delivered the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. Then Emily surprised everyone. She spoke. Wait. Victor stopped, slowly turned. She wiped tears, still shaking. Her voice was steady now. I won't forgive you today. Victor nodded. Fair. Emily continued. I may never forgive you. Another nod. Then she said, but I refuse to become someone consumed by hatred. Silence. I won't carry your sins for you. Victor stared, speechless. Emily took a breath. You can leave. She looked at the documents. And I don't want your money. Victor looked shocked. What? I don't want your estate. She grabbed the papers. All 147 million worth. Then tore them in half. Gasps everywhere. Then again and again, until soaked paper pieces fell into puddles. Victor stared in disbelief. Emily's voice thundered. You can keep your money, she pointed at me. I'm already rich. My chest tightened, because I understood. She wasn't talking about money. She never was. She walked to me, took my arm, the same arm she was supposed to take hours ago. Then she smiled through tears. Dad? Yes. Her voice softened. Are you still walking me down the aisle? That did it. I laughed through tears. Sweetheart. My voice cracked. I never stopped. 3 hours later, the wedding finally happened. Late, chaotic, messy, perfect. Emily walked down the aisle with her arm wrapped around mine. Every step felt sacred. At the altar, Ryan looked emotional. Good man, very good man. Before letting go, Emily squeezed my arm, then whispered something only I could hear. 8 words. Words I'll carry forever. DNA never made you my father. I nearly lost it again. Then she smiled and added, love did. I let go and watched my daughter begin her new life. Not because blood said she was mine. Because love did. Because choice did. Because staying did. And if life taught me anything, it's this. Anyone can create a child. Not everyone earns the right to be called a parent. If this story moved you, comment below. What truly makes someone a parent, blood or love? And if you enjoy powerful family stories filled with emotion, betrayal, and redemption, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.